Dream, yada yada. I'm Mick Solomon's, the developer of the Starting Strength app, and with me, Chase Lindley, Starting Strength coach at Starting Strength OKC. How's it going, Chase?
Doing good. How are you, Mick?
Just brilliant, living the dream with COVID for the last couple of weeks. It's been excellent. Just every day is just paradise.
How did you contract this deadly virus?
Oh, probably through one of the many dirty hippie jazz musicians that I hang out with.
That's probably true.
Don't know, to be honest. We don't have any form of contract tracing here anymore. It's just open season on COVID, so everyone's getting it at some point. And just staying home for a week. And Bob's your uncle. Alex is with us. He's apparently letting his wife back into the Airbnb wherever they are at the moment.
I was going to say this is like the ghost of Alex.
he's finally died.
He's with us on the other side.
I don't know. What do you want to start with today? Do you want to get into some form checks, or have you got anything you want to talk about?
Nothing's really happening with me, but yeah, we can just go into some form checks, kind of check what we're doing. Reddit today, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a look at Reddit. I think we have got a couple of form checks. I think I've got a couple of form
through
checks.
The app. We still have that.
Yeah. Cool. Are you getting any comments in the feed? Are there any comments? Are you seeing anything?
I'm not seeing anything right now.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, no comments.
My grandmother isn't in the comments yet, so
Mrs. Lindley. Let's have a look at this bloke, Henry from.
I think me and Alex already did this guy.
Henry from the Netherlands.
Last time. Yeah, because he has the house music playing.
Yeah, okay. We already looked at this guy.
Yeah, he had the fucked up squat a few squat sessions ago, or a few streams rather, and I think what the big thing that we told him to fix on the video that you just had was like getting knee position, I think, and then maybe the depth, because he was kind of high the first time that we saw him. Now this is pretty good. It was about average, about borderline or so. But I think his knees are a little bit off.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's holding him back, is he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, his depth actually is good on the first one, but yeah, it's just still kind of the knee position.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, we already looked at this guy, so we can let's start having a look at Reddit. Hey, so we said we were going to do that. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Boy. He's back. Guys. This stream was just a total shit show until you turned up.
Yeah, I mean, it always is. What have you guys been talking about?
Just you and what you're up to, and
just living my best life.
We're just venting and frustrating.
Yeah. No. Let's just rip straight into Reddit, I reckon. Or do you want to talk? Let's talk about your stuff, Chase.
Chase finally deadlifted 405 or something. What happened?
Yeah, you sure did.
So kind of give you some backtrack. So where the gym sits at in OKC, we're right in between a nail salon. So like you see like the guys power cleaning on the wall there. So behind that wall, that's the nail salon. And then forward of where my eye gaze is, that's like a tea shop. It's like a Herbalife shop.
Do people have to walk to the nail salon to get to the gym? Because that'd be awesome.
No. Where like the Eleco green plate is, like if you look forward to that, that's where the door is, and it's all glass, and it just kind of mimics the storefront on every storefront. But anyways, so this was late at night. This was Friday at like 9 or 10. Usually I train at like 2 to 3 in the evening, or afternoon rather. But I'm starting a different training time because the nail salon keeps fucking complaining. So you see those crash pads, I've been using those for the longest time, right? But here recently they've been complaining that I've been cracking the tile floor and stuff. I'm like, that's impossible. Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
It's bullshit.
That's just
so
awesome
now
if you were though.
I wish
so much that you're cracking the floors.
Yeah, I'm flattered, and I thank you for that kind compliment. But now I'm just gonna say fuck you and not use the crash pads and just make it really noisy.
Oh, look at the shoulder mobility on this guy. Oh, my God.
It's all the ROM stretching that I'm doing.
It's all the ROM wads you're doing, Chase?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, this looks nothing like the diagram on the wall in front of you.
Yeah, I kind of got confused about what to do here, but
so you're doing
so
these.
These
How
are
often
jerk
are you doing
overloads.
these guys?
These are once a week, but I'm kind of still on a 2 week cycle here. So where the first week is a heavy set of 5, and I've done that around like 5:45, 5:30, somewhere around there. And then these are 3 heavy singles. I did 585 like 2 weeks prior, and that just flew up pretty easily. Or I should say, just held pretty easily because these really, I'm not pressing it, as you can see, right? So this is just for the lockout strength, and this is a huge carryover because it's such an overload to my press.
So
it
this
kind
is
of knocks out
600
two birds
pounds.
with one stone. Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
So for the
I'd
jerk,
be
right,
dead.
I can hold that overhead. Ah, man,
That's pretty sick.
You are ridiculous.
I don't know. Like I kind of hate posting these because I mean, one
Yeah,
side
you
me's like,
suck,
oh
man.
look, this is
Fucking
cool,
show off.
but at the same time, it do like this is it's it's kind of like a circus trick in a way. I feel like so I'm kind of like gonna just not post shit like that anymore. But
That's
no
how I
one-
feel
no
about
one
the
wants to see
squat and the bench and the deadlift. They're just circus tricks. That's why I don't even do them. Just circus tricks.
No, I
so
mean like
rack
they
pulls
do
again
have a
today.
yeah. So bi-weekly again, my training cycle here. So I have a halting deadlift for a set of 8 the first week, and then a rack pull for a set of 5. Which, man, this is getting fucking grindy. It doesn't look like it in the video, but 4 and 5 were pretty damn grindy, or it felt like it was probably like an RPE 5 or 3. Yeah, it was probably a 3 right there.
You're starting to look like Hulk Hogan. Just I'll sort of let you know.
Hell yeah.
You need to get one of those USA singlets that he wears and just like tear it off at the end.
I wish I could grow the fucking Fu Manchu that he has, or the handlebar.
Yeah,
But I'm not gonna do it.
you're
just not high test enough, man, to have facial hair like that.
I'm not. I don't have enough
It's me and Mick here holding it down at like the 200 nanograms of test per your entire body, which is why we have such luscious facial hair. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of building muscle, it just goes to hair growth. One thing to note here that's interesting about Chase's failure pattern is that people who are much more fast twitch, generally you'll see this with stronger athletes, their bar speed will look like a cliff. It will not be a slow, dramatic drop off. I have a lot of my guys using velocity trackers, especially the stronger ones. And you will not see like a 5-10% decrement in speed, let's say, almost in like a linear step fashion on the way down. It's just like fast, kind of fast, and then it just sucks. And it's like a 30% reduction. So it's like Chase, what he's saying, he was like, the reps looked fine. And then all of a sudden he's just like spazzing out, shaking back and forth.
Yep. And it's weird, man, because well, I mean, I've had that sensation for the past probably 2 training cycles for the rack pull, where like that 5th one, I'm kind of riding the jackhammer a little bit. And like, so this was like, I don't know, I may pull this for a triple today. I don't know, we'll see. But it's kind of interesting that you said that, man, because I've never really heard that explanation why, but I know it had something to do with the central nervous system.
Yeah. It's like the fiber fall off. It's primarily the fast twitch is going to fall off. It's going to hit a hard wall. So it's like the I hate to call them shitty. It's shitty within the context of strength training, but I don't know if you guys remember me talking about it. It was months ago. But I had a guy whose max squat at the time, he just kind of finished up his LP, was around 275. Was his max squat for a single. He could hit 225 for 18 reps. So he was just the slowest guy in the whole world. All of the reps looked very similar. He was slowing down a little bit each time, but he could just keep going, basically. He had like a big background in endurance sports, and it sucks because he's like, "Am I ever going to be able to squat 500?" And it's like, frankly, probably not.
Yeah,
you're going to be able to squat 225 87 times, but you're never going to be super fast. Who do we got here? We got Christopher Trawl. That's a new one.
Yeah.
How's it going, Chris?
Johnny G as well in the
Chris?
chat. All right, should we start just going through Reddit and seeing what's going on there?
You're our fearless host for the day, so that's all you, dog.
Oh man,
you got to zoom this shit in.
Can I just zoom it in?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just signed the wrong thing. All right, let's try this. How's that?
Oh, here we go.
Is that better?
Oh man, now I can see everything. Amazing.
Hell yeah.
Please be as critical as you can. Are you gonna?
Okay.
Can you be critical as you can?
Here we go.
Shitty haircut to start.
First of all, yeah, your gym fit is fucking stupid.
It's artificial turf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good gyms have real grass, and
That's right.
that's how you know it's a good gym.
This is fucking peasant bullshit.
I don't believe there's any grass at Wichita Falls though. It's just a lot of gravel and rocks.
My statement stands, man.
way
Good
up here.
gyms, they have
Weird,
real
man.
grass in them. Yeah.
How many
Wichita
times
Falls
have you
is
had to sweep
T-tier.
up the gravel, Chase?
Oh, so I used to help Carmen all the time clean out the back lot because we have several pecan trees, and I think fucking some other ones. But anyways, around like August or in kind of the later part of the year, they start to shed the pecan shells, and the little shells that are kind of contain the actual pecan nut, they'll come off, and dude, it's just fucking a bunch of debris everywhere. So I'll help her like blow out the back lot a lot and rake up a bunch of the leaves. Fuck, man, we used to do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, there's always like trash that get left behind by like the fucking crackheads across the street. It somehow always ends up in the back lot. Yeah.
Are crackheads doing chin-ups and running sprints in the backyard?
I don't know.
They'd be amazing. How do you feel about this guy's deadlift, by the way? What is his name so we know what to call him?
Standard expensive 535.
All right. Nothing seems expensive here, but carry on.
Yeah, standard, dude, you got to get your back flat as you pull. So like the first one's pretty good, but then you kind of get back into just rounding your lower back and just leveraging up with your back instead of using your legs. What I've had to do with several people here recently is I'll make them kind of go into two positions, right? So you got the turtle shell position, which is just you flexing your back as hard as you can while taking your grip on the bar, right? And then we got the snake position, right? Which is just a nice flat cobra, type thing. You can use and substitute different animals for this, explanation, but essentially you're going from extreme flexion to extreme extension, right? So you can kind of notice the difference because this guy, like on the fourth and fifth, he still thinks that he's setting his back, but he's not. Maybe his upper back, but his lower back, no. So getting into like pause, like if we were to pause right there on his setup, he's super rounded, so he can feel all of his back is in flexion. And then I'd make him really overset his back into extension, maybe 1 or 2 times, and then lastly hold that extension and then finish the set there. So that way he has that sensation of this is how my back feels whenever it's in the correct position, how uncomfortable it is, all that shit that we list off.
Yeah, these people, you'll see this all the time. People will think they're doing something with their back, but they're doing something different every rep. It needs to be really consistent. So it's not just extending your back, it's extending it to the correct position, which needs to be identifiable, right? So like what Chase was harping on, it kind of distills down to learn the specific position, get back to that specific position every time, rather than just, I'm just going to extend and where I end up. Because his setup different, distance, how far he was, his shins were from the bar was different every time. His hip height was different every time. So because you're moving those two things, how extended his back needs to be and where is going to change, right? So the reason that we harp on the setup of the 5 steps is that it's replicatable because it needs to be, and that's super, super important. Very important question. Chase, have you ever tape measured your arm?
This is huge.
No. Chase, I need you to do this tomorrow.
Have you ever tape measured anything on your body, Chase? And if so, what was?
I think it was learning how to tape measure because we have
from the base or from the top to the
a rule. Is it a ruler or a tape measure?
Yeah.
Do you press the skin in?
No. So like after our initial intro with our first time client, we'll have basically like some data points, right? So we have a height, a weight, we have hip measurement, chest measurement, and waist measurement. So learning how to do that for other people, I kind of did it with myself, and just at the time, like several years ago. I don't know, whatever the fuck I measured.
How do you measure the chest on someone who just has some big naturals, Chase? How do you do that?
Oh, first we have to go shirtless.
Do you just pick? You're like pick them up and throw them over your shoulder, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
I'm
under
just like,
the
hold on, ma'am.
under
Let me
the
just.
roots.
You turn the
It could
aircon
be a
down to
dude, too.
53.
Man, you're in Oklahoma. That's a pretty obese state. That does not have to be just girls.
No. Yeah, it's true. And guys, it's just like, no. It's just you just kind of like turn your head and just don't look at the cleavage, and you just kind of like wrap around, and you're like, okay, let's do this real quick. Okay, good.
Okay,
Just be a real professional.
that's very fair.
So Johnny G's getting bruises on the back of his knees. What's going on there?
Are you getting visible spotting on the back of your knees?
That's typically what a bruise is, isn't it?
Well, some people say that a bruise is bruising sensation. Like if you ask, like if you work with combat sport athletes and it's a black guy, and you'll be like, "Are you getting bruised?" He'll be like, "I don't really know." If you work with someone who's Irish and it's like, "Are you getting bruised?" They'll be like, "I'll be able to tell you immediately." A bruise is realizing it's there with visual confirmation and then sensation. Those are two different things. So if the back of your knee hurts,
real quick,
if the back, it's a legitimate problem. I have to deal with this problem all the time. If it's a,
you're saying yes, it's purple.
If it feels if he's saying it's purple, that's not good, dude. That's not good. That means you're having bleeding in like the popliteus in the back of your knee, which means your knee is way too fucking straight. Or it's like it's not even going to be distal hamstring, because distal hamstring inserts around the side of your knee, right? So like what you're looking at that point is the top of the gastroc, the top of the calf muscle, or the small muscle behind the knee, the popliteus. That's not good. It's not good. You could probably train through that, but I would recommend seeing a physician. See a physician. They'll direct you to a PT, and they'll say that's stupid, and then they'll help you figure it out.
Yep. Chase, have you ever had an injury from the gym, lower back pain from squats, etc., that made you take weeks, months off from the gym?
No, man. What's really helped me was that being in the gym, the Mecca, at such an early age. Whenever I did get injured, my first thought as a kid was just like, oh fuck, like I don't know what to do. I just need to rest. Whereas everyone else was like, no, just come back next day and we'll be fine. So going through that initial, recovery phase, all the psychological bullshit at an early age, I've never really taken great lengths of time off the gym. I'd say probably the most was whenever I first got diagnosed with diabetes. That was probably the worst thing. After that, it's like if I had a tweak and stuff, I'm still in the gym. The load is different. Maybe what I'm doing with exercise selection is different, but months or weeks off, no, I've never really.
Yeah, it's so rare to have to take that long actually off. You'll have to do it for specific movements,
Yep.
We'll just go and do some calf raises, dude. Have some fun.
Yeah.
Training back kyphosis. Any suggestion to train safely?
There's no indicator that like a non-trauma kyphosis and lordosis are terms for the curves of the spine. Yeah. Kyphosis is an anterior rounding. So rounding like this is the face here. So if you think old man hunch down here, that's kyphosis. It's not really deleterious to training, I think, at all. If it's just a positional thing that you're like, whenever I load my deadlifts really heavy, I feel like I have back kyphosis, is probably because there's heavy deadlifts. Like if you looked at Chase's back on those rack pulls, it pulled into a kyphotic position because what was it, 800 pounds, Chase? What were we looking at earlier?
755.
Oh, excuse me. It was just 755.
800. No. It's 35 pounds less.
It was only 755, like some sort of weak baby. Yeah, so it pulled into a kyphotic position. It's not injurious whatsoever. If you just are shaped that way, you are just shaped that way. I wouldn't really worry about it. The same principles apply for someone who has a very straight back and a very round back. You don't want it to undergo tremendously excessive movement during load, right? That excessive is going to be person to person. If you are a 14-year-old, that excessive is probably tremendously, you have a huge range of motion, right? Wrestlers and gymnasts are doing crazy bridges under load all the time. If you are 80-year-old Aunt Barbara, excessive may mean a few degrees of upper back flexion, tweaks her shoulders whenever she's deadlifting. So really just kind of regulate your loads, be smart about it. Anything for you, Chase, on that one?
The big thing with kyphosis, man, is just the bar position on a squat. If you're having difficulties, like you're just so adamant about going low bar and you have a lot of kyphosis, don't worry about it. Just high bar, get into a comfortable position with the bar and just manage it like that. For the press, the lockout, you may not have great shoulder flexibility or range of motion with the kyphosis. Kind of similar to the squat, just get there or the bar over your shoulders as best you can or close to it. You can kind of press against a rack, kind of do like some before your actual press, kind of run your hand up a wall and kind of stretch it out just a little bit. But it's a structural thing. Like you're not going to fix it overnight. This thing is going to be permanent and you're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back into some Reddit.
See, there's no way to do detective work on which franchise these people are at because they all look the same.
Can we get some volume on this?
Chase, is this choppy for you or is it just me?
Yeah, this is choppy.
Mick, shut your own webcam off.
I wouldn't know how to do that.
What I'm thinking is like, who the fuck? I mean, look, this is at a franchise gym, and the thing that's screaming at me is like, look, everyone knows that you should not have all this fucking equipment on the bench. Like, I know you're in the safety rack, but still, dude, like I would have, like, this is like some global gym type shit. And if you're deadlifting,
you got to superset the curls in, is what's happening.
I guess.
He's turning around. He's throwing 135 up.
Maybe that's just my OCD, but yeah,
and then he's sitting down on the bench immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As for the squat itself, not the because we don't know what extenuating circumstances there is. Maybe someone's sweeping the next platform. Maybe someone's it's pretty busy. I'm not sure. Always benefit of the doubt. You are squatting with your head. I really dislike when I see people doing this. I'll see it a lot from other SSCs. I'll see it a lot from people who are interpreting starting strength literature. They'll have like a straight upper back. They'll have a pretty extended position at the start of the squat. And then to initiate the movement, they will go into thoracic flexion and then they'll push their nose down to the ground to initiate the movement. It is a leg movement. Squat with your legs. Everything above your waist stays exactly still. Okay. You're rotating down at the hip. Okay. So your torso is one rigid unit. Your head is a rigid unit. There's nothing moving up there. All of the movement is coming from your legs. I think some people will really over cue the face down, lean over, and then you'll have people who will eventually, they'll either get elbow pain on the squat from cranking their elbows up, or they'll just deal with kind of a loose bar position because they will squat by trying to blow the floor. And that bothers me. That's a pet peeve for me.
All right. Good work, fellas. Should we keep scrolling through?
If that guy was from Oklahoma, I'm sorry, Chase.
Yeah, I was on morning session. I got to talk to the morning coach.
Like, Phoebe.
Yeah. Wait, what was up with the dude deadlifting? You don't want to?
I don't know. I was bored. Got ADHD. You didn't start talking about him in 3 seconds. I went to the next one.
This was a very grip it and rip it situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then he's taking 10 seconds in between reps. Yeah, the positioning is fine. You just got to give yourself a chance to get tight. Mm-hmm. I think this is Instagram poison where people have been seeing very fast twitch, very practiced deadlifters just go from 0 to 700 pounds and they'll get it off the ground in a quarter second. They'll just grab their hands on it and then pull immediately. Don't do that. 5-step setup, watch it, squeeze your chest up, get tight, allow everything to get into the correct orientation and configuration, and then you can pull. Anything on this, Chase?
Alex, did you ever, it's kind of feeding off of this. It's a tangent in a way. Did you ever see Pete Rubbish when he was talking about the rips deadlift setup with I think it was Art of Manliness.
I saw someone post the video of him like shit talking.
Yeah,
yeah.
You gotta look at him. So it's basically like I agree with 9 times out of 10 with everything that he says, except for how he needs to pull. He's like, you need to pull it fast. Exactly what you were saying, and like how he cues it. He's like, the deadlift is about speed and
explode off the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, are you going to tell someone who can't jump 4 inches off the ground to explode?
Exactly.
What does that mean?
And look, like Pete, like you're a really strong guy, but you also fucked up your fucking parents' basement. Like you put foundational cracks and you fucked up all of that shit because you wanted to be a jackass and pull fast and slam the fucking bar on the floor.
Like, I have to find one of my friends sent me a photo of him, but when he was on gear and then when he was off gear, the photo comparison is hilarious.
What's the dude's name?
Pete Rubish.
How do you spell that?
RUB
ISH.
I think it's 1 B. I don't think it's 2 B's. If you just look up Pete, some rubbish powerlifting, you may find it.
Yeah.
But there was a really funny photo of him before gear and after gear, but he still keeps how giant his neck was. So his neck is like, it's all the way out here, but then he just has like the body of like a 170-pound guy afterwards. It's really funny.
I think I got it. I might have it. Hang on a sec.
Jamie, pull that shit up immediately.
I just realized I'm so slow at this.
It takes 10 minutes. Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those things where most people try to listen to their advice from athletes and they'll attempt to transfer it over.
Is it this one?
Oh, I love this.
Is that it?
No. That's
him,
not it.
But yeah.
That is Pete Rubish. Yeah, I'll try to find it. And where's my phone at? I don't know where my phone is. Oh, here we go. But yeah, so back to the point. We'll keep talking about it. Even like the whole, let's say, Athlean X guy, who I despise that guy. All of his advice is universally terrible. For some reason, if Chase's problem would be like his external rotators, despite the fact that he can overhead squat 500 some pounds. Even that guy, people really get allured by like train like an athlete, and then be like, oh, I need to take the advice from athletes. I need to train like an athlete, where it's like, you are the farthest thing from an athlete. That is not the advice that you need. Yeah.
Well, it's even too, like an athlete at the start had to start with the fundamentals and the basics. And then, like they got that, but then somewhere down the road, like shit came very natural to them, or someone just gave them really bad advice and they end up wherever they're at.
Can we review the knees over toes guy?
I despise that guy so fucking much.
Can we do it though?
Like that
Can we do it, please?
Oh my god. It's like, that's really cool, dude. If you teach anyone this movement 4 days, they'll be able to do it if they could do an overhead press already. Like
marriage goals, Alex.
Yeah, do synchronized lateral raises.
This is good. I mean, because look, it's like, I mean, that guy, like I don't know how he's fucking getting these.
Come on, that's pretty impressive.
That's cool looking, but at the same time, like, can he squat fucking 405? Probably not.
But he's invented a new sex move though, so I mean that's pretty. How many sex moves have you invented, Chase?
That's true, man. Like he probably is gonna whoop my ass in limbo, but
yeah, he's the limbo champion of the world. Mick, check that message on Telegram that I just sent you. See if you can pull that up. That's the Pete Rubish post. Yeah, so there's like a whole area of Instagram where it is just people who are athletic doing party tricks, and then being like, the real secret to being athletic is party tricks. None of these people interact with real athletes in their daily life at all. As someone who works primarily and only with athletes, it's not party tricks. And then click on the next picture. So I think that was before.
Jesus Christ.
There's after. So he keeps like the big neck. He has like this weird cancerous protruding shoulder.
Yeah, that was the only thing was looking at the whole time is what is going. Is he like lost an arm or something, and that's just his stump?
Yeah, but no, but there's just like this guy with this fucking pudgy big boobs and a little dad bod next to him.
Christ.
You know, just absolutely mogged. Yeah, no, this Pete Rubish guy is just a lot of trash takes. A lot of trash takes. Yeah, but I think that was one of his before and after. What's it called? Oh, 19 months drug free. Yeah, 19 months drug free. Everybody.
Yep, man of God as well. All right, should we keep going back to Reddit? We've got more. Actually, I've got a question, Amy. I think someone asked, "Have you ever damaged any of the bars?"
No. So, look, I know it seems pretty bad whenever you look at my videos of like pin presses or anything related with the rack. But I'm using a bent bar on purpose because it's already bent. Now, how it got bent, usually what we've done at the franchise is we bought like a very shitty bar from a different bar manufacturer, like something that's that's going to withhold, but we know that we're going to beat the fuck out of, not one of our own starting shrink bars. And we just bent the fuck out of it. But going forward, as it's already bent, I can then slam it. I can do all my pin work. I can do whatever the fuck I want because it's already bent. It's going to get a little bit more bent, but like right there, like that's a Rogue boneyard bar, which I thought was like kind of shit. Like the knurling's terrible, but it's a great rack pull bar because it still has some high tensile strength. It's bent, of course, but it's not going to snap or anything, or I hope it doesn't.
That'd be awesome if it did.
Man, sharp metal flying towards your penis, please no.
I hope not.
Man, it would be like a support group for men with damaged penises, and then it would just be guys who were in Iraq, and then you, Chase. That would be like,
what are you in here for?
It would be soldiers be like, "Thank you for your service, brother," and you'll be like, "I was rack pulling in a bar, got me in the testicles."
All right,
man,
let's keep going.
I feel like such a twink, Chase. My heaviest rack pull was my below the knee heaviest rack pull was only ever 585. I think was my heaviest ever.
That's still pretty heavy, man.
Absolute twink.
Well, I also like outweigh you. Have been doing this like consistently without any fucking illness, hampering my progress or anything like that.
No, Chase, I'm gonna gain 60 pounds and come for your overhead squat record, but with my deadlift instead. We'll equate the two. Whenever I see squats like this, it does physically pain me.
It looks painful. Yeah.
How are you feeling about these, Chase?
This is the guy who fucking takes notes from the knees over toes guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's not because he's doing squats, so.
Well, that's true. That's true. But anyways, look, what kind of Alex was stating on earlier with the deadlift, think about it, what we're doing with the squat. So it's a leg exercise, right? We're using our hips, all that stuff. Sit way the fuck back into it, avoid your knees, and then plant your nipples straight down into the floor. And it's going to cure the vast majority of this.
Yeah, you're trying to front squat a low bar squat. So it's like he's clearly taking the time to figure out the grip that we recommend, but just none of the rest of it, which is interesting. And normally it's the other way around. Like someone will be trying to do the low bar squat, but they'll have it high bar, and they'll fuck up in other ways. Wind the stance. Get your chest down to get your pecs to your knees. Just pecs to knees. Get those to connect really close to each other, and then you'll figure out the rest. Back extension's fine, so he'll be able to hold that. This would probably be pretty easy to fix in person. Online, it would probably be a little bit harder. Yeah.
Yep.
Is this too much lumbar flexion?
First time. First reps weren't filmed.
Sack attack.
Oh shit!
I miss the era of nicknames.
Yeah, I know. Everyone has like some shitty ass names now.
Like that's pretty good.
Creative.
Sack attack is a good.
Well, yeah, this is good. This is a good one. But yeah, everyone has like fucking weird ass like alien names and shit in their goddamn.
Well, it's good to see Brendan Schaub getting back into things after his last couple of weeks.
This guy does look very Schaubian.
Yeah.
I would get rid of that belt. I don't think that belt's helping you at all.
No. I think, yeah, he has no back extension, really. I mean, some thoracic, but without the belt here, you're going to have an easier time actually learning to set your back. I'd probably widen out your toes a little bit too. Kind of free up some area in between your legs, kind of shove out your knees into your elbows there. And then in that gap that you just created, think about planting your stomach in between your legs and really arch the low back.
Can we just talk about the guy in the background, what he's doing for a bit?
What is that guy doing?
I think it's the knees over toes guy, actually.
He's doing like goblin squats.
He's getting deep, dog.
You say goblin squats?
Yeah.
Goblet.
It's squats from the Harry Potter world.
I will tell you guys a feat of my knees over toes mobility today. I went to the Georgia Aquarium, and there was a crawl area where you could go. It's like a tube where you could go under the penguin enclosure. And it was like,
hell I'd do that.
It was like 3-ish feet, maybe 40 inches tall. More realistically, probably under 40 inches. And she was like, it's pretty short in there. You're not going to be able to fit in there. She was like, you'll literally have to. She was like, sometimes kids can't get in there. And I was like, lady, I'm totally going to be able to get in there.
Not the first time you've ever said that.
I was like, ma'am, hold on a second. Because there were some adults who like tried to squat down and get in there and they couldn't do it. And I just immediately popped into a beautiful squatting duck walk and just kind of waddled my way in there to go check out some penguins. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Is that the end of that story?
I was just flexing on all these kids. They were like, why is this adult male and his wife in the children's
did everyone start clapping as soon as you came back out? Everyone's like,
I know, it's like, I did it. I went on a children's zoo exhibit.
Hamstrings during squats, boring. All right, here we go. I tried my best to squeeze my chest up, but the back is still not straight when I pull it.
I'm so nervous.
Man, the start position actually looks solid and all this stuff.
Yeah, this is. I think people get confused by the structure of their hips when they see this. They'll see the rounding of like the wing of their pelvis, and then their love handle if they have any. Just kind of that flesh, and they'll see it not being perfectly straight, and then they'll be like, "Oh man!" Especially from this camera angle, the front from the floor, it's a terrible angle for seeing this. Move your camera behind you, and then put it around as high as your waist. That'll give you a better read on things. These are totally fine.
Yeah.
Do you want to change anything about those, Chase?
Maybe the toe angle, but I mean, I can't really see. You may have to play around with that because that's going to have an easier transition with the back extension for some people. But really, I don't know. I would have to see you in person or to have a better camera angle. But overall, this is a good A for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta have a look at this guy's power cleans.
Okay, you may have to zoom out to get the full video of this one. I'm curious about the comments on this one as well. There's 34 of them.
We'll have a look at the comments after we. I'm kind of scared about the comments, to be honest.
Whoosh. You did it.
I mean, fuck.
This is actually me, by the way. I sent in my own video to the starting strength.
Here's the big fucking elephant in the room here. Like, look, it's the plates, man. Like, the power clean is done on plates that are the same diameter as those 45s on that fucking Smith machine next to you, right? You can't do a normal power clean with tins like that. You're going to have to find a better gym, or if they have bumpers, something of that nature, right? In the meantime, you can just work on the positioning, right? So do like some low hang cleans. You can do some from the jump. But, I mean, what I would say probably more than anything is just work on the jump position and right below the knee, kind of like that second stage of the teaching progression there. And then just get strong, get your deadlift up to where you're deadlifting like 225 or even 185. Hopefully at that point, you'll be power cleaning 135. Well,
I think some of those plates behind him are bumper plates.
Well, then if that didn't register to him, then he has to
Yeah.
Hopefully he sees this. That's all.
Because plus he's using a shorter bar as well.
Yeah.
Let's check out these comments, Mick, before I go on. There's going to be a bunch of like, yes, queening, you go, girl. You're so brave.
I'm thinking nothing's
I think it's
happening.
gonna be fucking. It's gonna be
go up to the
Jim
top
Bros
and then
shit
click on the
there.
main post.
Yeah, I'm clicking it. I think it's maybe the.
I don't know how
Zoom thing
Reddit works,
messing me
man.
up.
Oh, check the other tab. I think it loaded.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Can you read those?
Not really.
Golf strength coach 93.
Is this you, Mick? He had a mate.
I don't play golf. You
look like you play golf, Mick.
They don't even let Jews in the golf courses out here, so that's for starters.
All right, let's keep scrolling down. Let's see what else we got.
Oh
Take
man,
things
hold on.
slowly.
Did you see the thing? So like, go back to like the golf coach dude.
And you need Pendlay Rose in your programming.
Yeah, scroll up a little bit more though. So he goes, I certainly recommend getting a coach in to help you. To learn how to power clean and jerk, you best start learning how to front squat and hip hinge.
I don't know what
fuck
level
is
of
that?
delusion these people are under. You see someone who very clearly cannot deadlift 135 pounds. Or if they can, it is a hard deadlift. And then you're like, you know what we need to do for this man's athletic progression? Try to teach him about hinging.
Yeah.
Be like, listen, you need to hinge. It's too complex. God fucking damn it.
Stupid,
all right.
Man.
Mick, I'm too mad. Get out of here.
I thought you wanted to read some more comments.
I'm too upset. Oh, here we go. Some are always best. Let's see what this is. All right. Keep going down, Mick. All right. There's an amount of yes queening.
Oh, here he goes. He says, I've been following the program for about a month and a half. I was afraid to do power cleans without a coach, doing barbell rows instead. So it's his first time doing power cleans.
Well,
I know, but I mean, like, I mean, we even say it's like, listen, the bottom of the power clean is the deadlift. The bottom of the power clean is the deadlift, you know. So when people try to give, yeah, that's fair. But I mean, like, whenever people try to give complex advice for a problem that shouldn't be addressed, you know, it's like, hey, I'm trying to teach my house plants how to read. Do you have any advice? It's like the question is so stupid that you don't need to give complicated answers for it. You don't need to spend a tremendous amount of time addressing it. But your form is terrible. And
don't be insulted, but you suck.
Don't be insulted, but I hate you. You piece of shit. Do power cleans until you have the hip mobility. Oh, it's hip mobility is the problem. Oh, no.
He's got 8 pounds on the bar. He's not going to hurt himself.
I forgot how much the Reddit made me want to shoot myself in the brain.
So who is this guy? The Shnerlov? Is he?
I have no idea. I haven't been on this SS Reddit in months. It kills me. All right, let's go back to the main page, Mick. See what else is going on there.
Whoa. Just
so hit close.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Why's everything so slow? Please rip apart my terrible form apart.
This guy was just chest driving, if I recall correctly. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, dude, this is bad.
This is bad. That's probably the first comment.
This is bad, and I hate you.
That is, dude. That's some textbook chest drive, man. That is.
Yeah.
If this was like the alternate version of starting strength, and we were learning how to chest drive,
we were like, "Oh, we love chest drive."
Model. Yeah. Where's he racking this bar? Is there actually a rack? Oh, there actually is a rack there. I was like,
squat stand. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like, you don't want to unfold at your waist. Think about driving your butt up in the air and then standing up directly under the bar. This is chest drive. Think about it like someone's physically pressing down on your tailbone, or like the barbell is on your butt and you're trying to pick it up like that. But yeah, I mean, these are once he gets the hip drive concept down, he'll be totally fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Question. Do you guys do any external rotation mobility work for squatting?
Chase?
No, I'm pretty flexible and I'm pretty young, so all that shit doesn't really apply to me.
Mm-hmm.
But like, well, let me talk from about my my client standpoint. Yes, there is a bunch of like my older guys. There is some instances where you do need to do a little bit of some stretching, right? So like a doorway stretch where you put your hands as far out as you can, or roughly as far out as you can, and just try to get underneath the bar as best as you can. That's one way. Another one is the Paul Horn stretch, all that stuff. But as far as like, a bunch of bands or a bunch of like external, internal rotation shit, no, we're not doing that.
I liked your first answer though, Chase. I'm not old or retarded, so no, I don't do it. That was basically
retarded.
Like, what are you, some sort of shoulder retard?
Old codger.
Shoulder retard.
Yeah. I think my mom used to legitimately use that terminology. Like if someone had some sort of like gross joint pathology, she'd be like, "What is that guy's elbow retarded?" And I'd be like, "Mom."
Technically, she's right.
Like a guy, like she used it in an older context. Like if you saw someone with like a club foot, she'd be like, "He has a retarded foot." I'd be like, "Mom, stop it."
Is she from Boston?
No, but she has this heavy, like slurry Pittsburgh accent. So like water sounds like water. So like retard is retorted a lot. It's a weird accent.
Retarded.
Yeah, no. Luckily, someone in my youth was like, "We don't say that anymore. We've switched the vernacular." But yeah, so I think just getting the tissues in your shoulder warm is really what you're looking for. A lot of people they get really confused as to what these exercises you're doing. So like if you're pumping your external rotation like this, if you're doing this a bunch, all you're doing is just contracting those muscles. You're getting them warm, and when they're warmer, they're limber. And by warm, we mean like there's fluids flushing through it. It's contracting. It's contracting. It's expanding. All those things. Like it doesn't really matter what specifically you do. Like if one thing that I'll do, let's say if I'm like, I always bench before I squat. So when I'm benching, I'll grab my bench weight, I'll shrug with it. I'll go to the dumbbell rack. I'll do some shrugs. I'll do some rear flies with it. And it's not enhancing my shoulder mobility. Absolutely. It's not like, oh, I can move it here and now I can move it there. All it's doing is just getting those tissues warm. And when they're warm, they're more willing to stretch out. So if I have guys with shitty shoulders, I'll always have them do their chin ups and their upper body movement before they squat. Okay. So I'll have them do, overhead press, chins, and then just that's enough to get their shoulders warm enough to squat. A lot of the times you don't have to do anything specific. You can just do the work you're normally doing.
Yep. Highland Games. Don't know what that is. Is that the Scottish thing where they throw those big things and ice?
Well, I mean, there's various other events, but yeah.
Do you have a kilt? Did you have to have the official uniform for this, Cool Dude 69? 420 XD.
He also says foam rolling is wonderful. So
physical palpation is a way to get things warm.
What?
Yeah.
From a health class perspective, it literally is. Yes. So
are
it's
you
like
talking about jerking off, Chase? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
That's all I do is I just physically palpate myself constantly. But yeah, so like, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can foam roll, and that'll just get some blood in the area.
That should be the thing that they use to like describe how flexibility is bullshit. That you can pull something over and over and over again, it doesn't get any longer.
I've been jelking for years, man. I constantly have a 10-pound weight attached to my penis, and it does nothing.
Said no kilt.
No kilt. Does it even count? No caber, but I'll be throwing weight for height. That's cool.
Nice. How much is the weight, Cool Dude?
Chase, have you ever tried keg toss? Anything like that? Okay.
I want to. It seems fun, man.
You got to find a strongman gym near you and just go fuck around with it sometime.
Yeah.
Form check, please. How bad is it?
Pretty bad, dog.
Next.
Is that like the distortion of the plates or just like the camera? Because she seems like very fucking small and the plates seem really big.
No. So wait, she's probably using the front of her camera, so the lens width is a little bit weird. So things that are closer are going to look
Maybe.
much larger than they are. I'm not saying she's a very tall girl,
I was
but
hoping, I
you know.
was hoping she's like 4 or 5.
Widen your stance. Get some squat shoes. Look down, and shove your knees out to the side. This is another one of people trying to replicate powerlifters form on the internet. Look up what the starting strength definition is for depth. You'll clearly be able to see you are high of depth or even powerlifting depth by a good few inches. So what you need to do is keep your chest up a little bit more, shove your legs out to the side, sit in between your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Chase?
No, everything else seems pretty solid.
Okay. In the singlet too. That's a power move. Squat in the singlet in the gym.
Oh yeah. Did you ever go on a big cut to 10 to 12% Chase?
No, like I'm already sitting in like probably 12% right now.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Do you know how lean 12% is?
Dude, like
that's 4-pack from most humans, unless you have a lot of like visceral fat, not subcutaneous fat, not under your skin.
So my visceral fat is 0.25.
Yeah, so it's the healthy young active people who aren't alcoholics don't have much visceral fat, especially if they're men.
Yeah.
12% on you, that would be like 4-pack tier, dude. You'd see some Chase, you'd see some deep cuts, dog. You'd see some.
Only one way to find out, Chase.
I look at men's bodies on the internet constantly.
That's really true. I could have sworn because like the last decks I had, and they probably equated it, but I was pretty damn close to 12, man. I'm not joking.
You gotta listen, man.
Maybe 14.
You gotta be like me. Here's what I do when I wake up: 1,000 crunches. I Vaseline my face up. At least 2 to 3 hours of online coaching, which is looking at shirtless pictures of men on the internet. That's it. So I just wake up every morning. It's just hundreds of ab shots. That's all I'm doing. But Chase, do you remember the photos that I had of me for the cutting episodes?
I think so.
Of those, where to a normal person who'd be like, "Oh, that guy has a 6-pack," that was probably around 11-12%.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, man. I am pretty terrible at like guessing people's weight and all that shit. So,
yeah, I think if you were super lean, you'd probably be about 210.
God damn, man, that would suck.
Actually, maybe even 2, just flat 200. If you were incredibly lean, like shreddiolos.
First time using Tubo 1 week apart definitely makes it feel harder, but I guess it makes a difference.
Hip drive, dog.
Sorry.
How do you feel about these, Chase?
I would still like to see. So the Tubo, yes, definitely helped, right? But you're still kind of falling over into the bottom on that last rep a little bit. So like here's another way of thinking about this, right? So make your shoulders and your knees and your toes, like those 3 points. Like if we look at this dude and it feels like a stick figure, those 3 points all align. So the bar is going to stay right over the midfoot. Your ass is going to go back, and those 3 points are just going to fall into a slot.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about these bar path apps? Are they useful at all?
I never used them.
They're useful. They're useful in the absence of a coach, and then to figure out what like trends are. But there are easier ways to do it. I mean, like they're neat, they're cool, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Chase, I have been so that kind of thing that you've been talking about of like your knees, shoulders, toes. You want to stack them all on top of each other. I've been telling people just to shove their shoulders onto their toes. I've tried that on a few recent in-person sessions, and it's been pretty successful. It's been successful for new people who have been very knees forward. It helps give them a visual frame of reference to work on, and helps them push things back.
Yeah, man. I love going back to. Do you remember Nick D'Agostino's talk, or there's a video of how he cues, talking about the differences. So you have kind of like your ambiguous cues, or just of like, hey, stay tight. set your low back. And then you have cues that are kind of more direct and more specific. Lean over and make your glasses fall off. Like I love kind of that talk. It's super brilliant. And I always kind of go back to that and try to help develop new cues like that.
Yeah, a lot of them require like it's weird to use the word meme in this context, but like lifting memes, just like these ideas of like even Rip his shit on this one all the time, but proud chest. It's something that people know what it means. But if you were to tell someone, hey, does your amount of pride you have in yourself, is that dependent on what thoracic extension you're in? They would be like, get out of my house. What the fuck are you talking about? Wouldn't make any sense. But within lifting, we understand what it means. So it's interesting about who you can use certain cues with, or that you can rely on this like well of social knowledge. And I think as people who coach novices, people who are starting strength coaches, if you're working with someone who's brand new, you can't really rely on that as well. So it's very interesting. Yeah.
Ben Lacasse, I'm on a 4-day split, thinking about adding a third pressing day because the press is starting to stall. How would you incorporate a third day of pressing into a 4-day split?
Didn't we already cover this in a video?
Probably.
Yeah, go watch all many hundreds of hours of shit we've did, Ben. Right now.
But no, Ben, if let's say right now you have a 2 and 2, so you're pressing 2 days and then you're benching 2 days. At one of those days that you're not benching or pressing, just add a press day in. So it could be a pin press. It can be, depending on where you're at with your press right now. If you're doing some singles and volume work, then I would probably suggest doing some pin press. Or you can just do another singles day. You can do doubles, maybe a little bit of a lighter load, or even no, I wouldn't say that. No, scratch that. Not the lighter load thing, but another heavier day to practice the press.
Yeah. I mean, so one thing that you can do is that if you're having a hard time abiding by the calendar and then the 4-day split for this, is that you're like, I need to add a third day of pressing. You may not need to. You may just be able to add more pressing to one of your existing days, but then make it a different variation, right? So if let's say if you're doing intensity work on one of those days, so it's just like a few heavy triples, back off, do some lighter work, with a tempo, or lighter work with a pause or something like that. Or let's say if you're doing that work and you're saying, man, I'm really fried after 3 heavy triples, add in 3 or 4 sets, maybe even 5, 6 sets of pin pressing after that, right? You can still keep it to the day structure. You need to figure out a way to inject more work into your schedule. That can be done through exercise variation as well, right? Even if it's the press volume day and you're like, I did a hard 5x5 at, let's say, 155, 65. I'm an intermediate presser right now. Okay, well then once you're done with that, go to pin press, put 165 on the bar, do triples at 165 for the pin press. It doesn't necessarily have to be a third slot. You just need to get the work of a third slot in a way that's productive.
Yep. All right, should we keep rolling through?
Yeah, man. Are you going to the starting strength coaches conference?
I want to.
Yeah, Mick, you should just show up.
It's going to be in Omaha, right?
Omaha. Why didn't Omaha? I thought everything was in.
No, so the Asgard company is no longer part of the Starting Strength Coaches Association.
Oh, okay. Fascinating. Look at old mate deadlifting.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be able to go yet. It would be nice though. I'm excited. Interesting. I've never finished a deadlift like this in my life. And whenever people finish a deadlift like this, it's always very weird. It's such a foreign thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some people will finish the deadlift. They won't really lock their hips out. They will lock their knees out, and they will keep their shoulders directly on top of or slightly in front of the bar. And it creates this really awkward point where they'll think they really can't stand up all the way. It won't feel balanced. It's a very awkward way to pull. I always tell these people, push your dick into the bar, push your crotch into the bar, push the bar forward with your hips,
I thought we'd just get to this last question, Alex. This is one for you.
Okay. Is there a general threshold of strength one should attain before switching to a more bodybuilding-based routine? 5-plate deadlift, 4-plate squat, 3 bench press, 2 OHP. Absolutely not. Entirely individual. Like it's really depending on the circumstances, including what extracurricular activities they want to do. A lot like a hypertrophy phase can be useful for intermediate and advanced lifters if they are just under muscled. Like you'll run into people who are clearly neurologically efficient at what they're doing. They just don't have a lot of muscle on their body. Like, okay, you can eat out of that problem, but it may not be the most efficient for growth. So you may want to eat out of that problem while adding in 100% more volume into the routine. They may not be at a 5-plate deadlift by that point. Generally arbitrary things that you just select. So like even those numbers, those are all selected based off of just whatever York barbell made the plates weigh whenever they started making plates. So it's not. I wouldn't rely on arbitrary strength standards for those things. What do you think, Chase?
Yeah, I mean, this is very highly individualized, like what Alex was saying, but think of it like this, right? So those bodybuilders are still strength training, right? So then they're not really hitting a set goal of, I hit 5 plates, now it's time to go do like
time to never deadlift again.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're still going to do these huge heavily involved muscle movement patterns. So it's kind of a weird question, this one is, but like we use these exercises because they satisfy certain criteria, and then you go along the criteria and this continuum into like now you're isolating certain muscle strands and all this crazy shit. That's fine. And then, you periodize that through a time where your competition is, but, based off of how you're setting your program up and all this stuff, you're still going to go back to doing the big time movements and you're still going to load those up as best as you can, or you should, if you're a smart bodybuilder.
Yeah. Like bodybuilders will do pulling patterns, squatting patterns, and pressing patterns. Mm-hmm. We have just selected these barbell movements and the way we do them because we argue that they are the most efficient to be done that way. That's it. So there's no difference. There's no difference. What happens is that as you are, you're advanced, you're like, okay, I've been lifting for 6 years. I've played around with strength enough. It's not doing it for me. I just want to get as fucking huge as possible. You've changed the goals and that changes the criteria, but you still use the same thought process for what you're doing.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, well, I want a squatting pattern that uses more quad than it does hip, right? And then you're okay, well, I can do a front squat, but my delts are so fucking tired that I can't really hold a front rack right now. So what do I switch to? Oh, I'm going to switch to a hack squat, or I'm going to switch to a leg press, and I'm going to use my quads more in those. But you're going to use the same criteria because it's going to be how much muscle mass is it using, what are the joint angles, how are you analyzing those joint angles, and how much force it's producing. That's one thing. People really shit on starting strength because they're like, oh, the movements that they've selected suck. Where it's like, we haven't really selected movements. We've argued for a way to think about exercise. And then that's just the results, Yeah,
like we didn't invent the fucking deadlift or the squat. Like we maximized it. We made it more efficient, but we didn't fucking come up with all these exercises like people long before have. Stupid.
Yeah, it's not like we're like, listen, the low bars, we are arguing the low bar squat is superior because it's the low bar squat. It's like, no, we have this set of criteria we're analyzing things on, and then whatever matches that criteria matches the criteria. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, boys, that's an hour, so probably wrap it up. Thanks for your time today. Chase, where can people find you?
That name right there, Chase Lindley.
Has Chase Lindley 2 reached out to you? Or Chase _Lindley, has he reached out to you at all?
No, that bastard. I bet he has.
Can you just start tagging him in your shit?
Yeah, I need to.
Please.
Yep.
Pretty
please. Or I need to go put it in my bio. Just be like, hey, follow my other account.
And here's my other account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, echostrength.com.
Can you go to my starting strength coaching directory listing? I wonder what that page looks like anymore. I haven't been on it in a while.
Look at you over here.
In his little young Alex. So innocent.
So proper.
What did you want me to look? Starting strength.
Yeah, go to the coaching directory. I want to see if I'm even on there anymore.
Why wouldn't you be on there? Have you been
I don't know, man. I'm actually too alt-right is probably what it was. You're like, this man is too extreme.
All right, keep chit chatting.
I just love looking at this website.
Where are you going?
This is whenever I realize that Mick is 70 years old and doesn't navigate the internet. It's whenever I see these things.
Guess so.
Search for Alex. No listings were found.
Oh, you're under gyms. That would be a good gym name, though. Just Alex. Be like, what do you do here, Alex?
Still nothing coming up.
There's no coaches, man. Click on coaches, man.
Yeah.
This is like whenever I try to get my mom to look for something on the internet.
No shit.
Where should I be going? What should I be doing?
Affiliate gyms.
Go to coaches. Go to the damn.
I clicked on coaches.
Click it again.
All right, there we go.
Here we go. He figured it out.
Well, there's Chase.
Oh, there's Chase Lindley. Chase, how many? Let's click on Chase. Let's see how many reviews Chase has.
Probably have like one.
Can I review for you, Chase? Am I allowed to do that?
Sure, I don't care.
Okay.
Right, how terrible I am at coaching.
Chase was fantastic.
Hey.
Good work, Chase.
Grant and Jeff Shaleski.
Jeff.
That's a cute picture. I went through this once on like the first day that they made it, and I haven't been through it since. So this is nice. Everybody has.
Rip has one. What the hell?
No reviews for Mark. Chase, you got to review Mark and be like, he trained me for the first 10 years of my life.
Yeah, taught me everything, even non-barbell stuff.
Everybody has such pretty pictures. This is nice, except the people who don't have any pictures.
I'm not liking this, Alex. I can't quite see you.
We'll get there. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Hey. Oh.
It's just a photo of you watching two men just grapple with each other.
What a badass.
15 reviews.
Here we go, boys. It's taken me a while. I keep asking everybody, and then everyone's like, oh, I'll do that immediately. Only my homework nerds have done it. I have a few clients who are just homework nerds. They're the only ones.
Oh, you actually ask people to leave a review? I just let them do whatever they want to, man. Like if they
well, that's because you work for the franchises, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Takedowns both gi and no gi. Nice one.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I work with guys who are both gay and no gay as well. That's what I tell people.
All right, there's one more quick question. I don't know if you want to do this one, but
there we go.
Chase, is there any reason you don't use hook grip for deadlifts? Yeah, because my fucking thumbs are already raw from doing all the Olympic stuff. So I'm just gonna say fuck it and strap. No, I mean it's kind of the reason. So like I'm doing a bunch of pull frequency, right? So I want to save my hands, and they already get beat up from just all the Olympic shit. So I'm just going to save my hands with the rack pull and the deadlifts and stuff like that with just straps. It's fine. I'm not competing anytime soon with a deadlift, so it'll be fine.
Generally, your most fatiguing pull, you want to strap for it. There's no reason not to. Unless you're just brand spanking new, in which case avoid them.
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, you can find my coaching shit here. I think this is the link that I give people now.
Can we just appreciate some of these photos? In particular,
it's just being happy with some boys.
What's the next
one?
This one.
Oh yeah, baby.
Got a couple of little, just
it almost looks like edited, like you Photoshop your head on someone else's body.
No, that's me. I should just put up just very lewd photos in there. I don't think they check which photos you put up.
They probably
just put up a dong photo. And then have Steph email me and be like, take this down.
Yeah, perfect, just right there.
Oh man. Mick, where can we find you at online?
Nowhere. Don't contact me ever for anything.
Where'd you get that hat at? Was it a gift or did you buy it yourself?
My brother bought this for me when I was over in the States.
Nice.
Yeah, Christmas present.
When is your next States trip? How about that, Mick?
I don't think it's ever going to happen again. I had to cancel this one because of COVID, and and my brother and his family are moving to the Netherlands. That was pretty much my only reason to come to the States. So yeah, they're moving to the Netherlands, and don't really have a question for Alex: Cobra Kai or Miyagi-Do?
Oh, Miyagi-Do, totally. Easy choice, man. Easy choice.
Yeah.
The Cobra Kai show was good.
What was the third one that the old mate started at the end? Didn't he? Wasn't there a third one? Anyway, that was such a good show. All right, well, let's wrap it up there, boys. Thanks for your time. Thanks for all the questions and form checks. And we'll catch you all next week.
All right, everybody. See you later.